we're going to look at some various types of sorting in Excel that can come in very useful. I'm going to start with just doing some numbers. So I'll start with 1, and let's say that I want to have these 10 rows all with a 1. Now I can go in and type these in manually, or I can click in the cell and then click the bottom right corner until I get this crosshair like this. I'll click and drag down to row 10, and it fills in with all 1s. Now that's useful and saves time with typing, but what if I wanted 1, 2, and then I just want to fill this all the way down to 10 right here. So what do I do to click that? Because if I click the 1, we know it's just going to overwrite my 2. It's going to go all the way down to 1. So what I want to do is tell Excel, this is going to be a pattern, and this pattern is 1, 2, and the pattern is add 1 to the number before it. So if I click down here again in the bottom right of the number 2 cell, I drag down, you can see the hints there. It's 8, 9, 10, and it's going to fill it in. So it's going to count off the pattern for me. This also works with dates. So if I do 1950 and then I do 1951 and I click this pattern, so I'm clicking 2 cells so I signify the pattern is add 1 year to the previous year. So I'll go ahead and click and drag down. You can see the hints are showing me 57, 58, 59, and there they are. Now, what if I wanted to do something like 1950, and then I want to do 1952, so that every row is going to add 2. So I'll click the pattern. The pattern is add 2 to the previous year. So I'm going to go ahead and click the bottom right and drag down. You can see the hints, and they're increasing by 2 each time. Now, what if I have something like, I have names, and let's say these names have something like this. And then I have, maybe I've got Steve 2, I've got Jack 3, so kind of leave it at that. And if I click on these names, what is going to be the pattern here? Well, let's drag down and see what happens. So we're going to end on Jack, so I'll just keep dragging. This is good. So you can see what it does. It adds 1 to the previous number, and keeps the names as constant. So if we look at Andy, Andy is a 1, and we add 1 to Andy, and Andy gets a 2. We add 1 to Andy 2, and Andy gets a 3. And it's doing the same thing with the others. Steve starts off with a 2, and if we add a 1 to a 2, we get a 3, and so on. We get a 4 with this Steve here. So that's how it works with these names. Now I'm going to change this up a little bit and add some different names. So let's go with Bill is 4, and we can use Mike is 5. I'll go ahead and type in something different over here. I'm going to clear these out and do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what I want now is, I'm going to go ahead and clear these out, in fact, so that I can isolate and show you this particular kind of sorting. Let's say I want to sort, and I want it to sort everything, because what I'm saying here is this 4 belongs to this Bill, this 2 belongs to this Steve, and 3 belongs to Jack. And I've just had the numbers here so that we can see what happens whenever I do this sort. Right now we're going smallest to largest. I want to sort from largest to smallest. That means the number 5, the largest number, is going to be on the top. So if I go over here to the sort and I click, I have largest to smallest, and I'll click it. And here's what Excel says. Do you want to expand the selection? I'm going to tell it expand it. And that means it's going to also grab these names and sort those names with these numbers so everything stays together. So I'll tell it, go ahead and sort. I like that idea. And you can see here, our 5 is on top, and our Mike is on top, and then our number 1 is on the bottom, and our corresponding Andy is also on the bottom. Now, what if I just want to sort these numbers? So I'll sort them back, and I'm not going to mess with the names over here. So I'll go back to the sort and filter, and now I'm going to go smallest to largest. I'm going to say no to the expand. I'll just do the current selection and sort. And now I've isolated so that I'm only sorting here. Now this works just as well with names. So what if I want to put these in alphabetical order? So you can see here now we have sort A to Z or Z to A. So it recognizes these are letters and not numbers this time. So we're going to go A to Z. I don't want to expand the selection. I just want the numbers. And there we have it. So now we're alphabetically sorted. And if I adjust our numbers so that they once again correspond to these names, now go back and I want to sort from Z to A. So the highest letter closest to Z will be on top and the letter closest to A will be on the bottom. That's how we're about to sort this. So I'll go Z to A. I'll tell it, yes, expand the selection and sort. Now, you can see we've got our numbers corresponding to our names and everything is sorted together. So the expand selection, we had it on this side and it's expanded off to the right. And then when we were sorting on this column, it expanded off to the left. So it works in both directions.